All right. So thank you everyone who has joined us. Um, this is going to be a lovely blab. As you can see, I have Ebon here, and if you guys don't know him, you need to know him. Uh, I'm Foso Social, and I do social media strategy, all that good stuff, and I do blabs. But from time to time, I have my friends on, and we talk about their expertise and get, all the good stuff, the juicy knowledge that everybody loves, as everybody says, the nuggets. And so who better to have Ebong on to talk about pricing, especially with us being entrepreneurs and, getting started and getting set and set up. And we always wonder, what should we be, charging and things of that nature. So with that being said, I'll let Ebong introduce himself.
So I was going to say, hey guys, thanks for, first of all, thank you, Foso Social, for having me. It's always great to have you, to have you in my scopes. And, as you already mentioned, I'm a CPA. I'm also the author of the best-selling business book, Start Me Up, the No Business Plan Business Plan. And the whole idea behind this is to make it easier for you to start a business without a business plan. So a lot of people struggle because what they do is they get inundated. It's overwhelming. Like, they know their business, but all the other things they need to know, they don't really know. So this was to strip away all the nonsense of starting a business and, writing a business plan that nobody's ever going to read. It's absolute waste of time. And I hit 4 major areas that are really important for you to be successful in starting a business. And, in addition to that, I also do, I'm also the founder of Economics. We focus on your mission, your mindset, your money. And it's a business strategy and some life self-development and personal development strategies as well.
I love it.
Oh, I'm also the Prince of Pricing. That's why we're talking about pricing today. So I help people get pricing together. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I help you get your pricing, get your life right, get your money right with the pricing. So
right. So I'm pretty sure you have, with the book that you have out, and you guys need to go get that book. You have information there about the pricing as well. But of course, what better time to have you on live to talk about pricing and what you need to think about, how you should strategize your pricing and all that good stuff. So you want to dive into that?
Yeah, of course. So I talk about pricing in the book a bit. So if you want to get, some of you guys who are on here have already gotten a copy of it. I can be a little loud, so I apologize if my volume goes up a bit. But actually, I don't really apologize. That's just who I am. I'm gonna be loud.
Right.
So basically, one of the major reasons why people struggle with their business is because they don't price right. Okay, like, they understand what they're doing, they understand who they are, they understand their business, and like in terms of like their expertise, they know what they do, they know how they can, how to provide services. If they're a coach, if they do social media, if they're whatever it is. And so the biggest struggle people have occurs when they're focusing, when they're service based, right? It's easier when you have products, because with products you can just say, okay, this is what it costs to make, this is what the price the marketplace will bear, in the middle is my margin, and then you're set. But when you're doing services, people are making so much money in so many areas, right? And so a lot of people struggle because they don't charge enough, for their services, and as a result, they can't focus enough to do the requisite amount of work to help somebody out. So that's the problem that people face. And so you'll hear the statistic on the internet or in Business Insider and all these different publications, maybe SBA, and they'll say something like, many small businesses fail, like 90% of small businesses fail because they fail because they don't have capitalization or they lack capital. But let's look at it this way. If you charged enough money, you would make enough money, and then getting a loan wouldn't be the issue. And so I think a lot of people, if you focus on the areas that you can control and not so much trying to get a loan from a bank who's not giving you any money, you have a better chance of sustaining a.
I agree. You hear echo from me?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. I think I'm just clearing that on my side. So I definitely agree with you saying that you need to charge enough for your services so that you won't be worried about trying to get a loan from the bank. which is I think a huge thing for most entrepreneurs because especially when we're starting out, we might not have all the capital that we need to get where we're going. And so, like you said, if you're an expert in a certain field, you know your stuff, why not charge what it's worth instead of trying to, cut back on it or a question that I was going to ask you is, a lot of people worry about what their competition is charging. And can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. You know what? You got to run your race. And there's enough. We're taught, as we grow up, that that basically we're taught to compete. We're taught that it's a zero-sum game. We're taught that if I'm winning, then everybody else has to lose. But that's not the reality of life. There's enough piece of the pie for everybody. I don't necessarily care what my competitors are doing. Only as it relates to their ability, if they're providing better services than me, then I'm like, okay, what are they doing? Why are they winning? Why are they charging more? Like, what's going on? What are they providing that allows them to charge more? So for the most part, it doesn't matter what my competitors charge because, again, it's a very simple principle. And I'm going to answer, this is going to go into Austin's question as well, because his question is B2B or B2C pricing. We're talking about both because it goes down to this. People spend money for two reasons and two reasons only. When you understand why they spend money, then you can act accordingly. So people spend money for two reasons. The first reason is to get a desired result, right? They want something to happen, and so you pay money for that to happen. And the second thing is you want to solve a problem. That's it. Those are the only two reasons. Think about every time you pulled your money out to do something. It's because you had a problem or you wanted a desired result. That's it. And those are the only two. If that's the case, then every time I come to you with my product, my service, with my additional features, whatever it is, I have to come from the frame of solving your problems. The best marketing, the best marketers, the best advertisers in the world, if you read their copy, if you watch Super Bowl ads, they're either solving a problem or making you feel a certain way. So why is it that people are buying $15,000, $20,000 Birkin bags? Why are women buying $700 to $2,000 Christian Louboutin shoes, right? When they can go to Aldo or Steve Madden and buy shoes that hurt them? Why are they buying those shoes? Like, why are they buying the higher end? Even though some people can't afford to pay their bills and they're buying $700 shoes. You know why? Because they feel a certain way when they have those shoes because the brands will spend all their time creating, an aura or creating a feeling you get from, consuming their products. And so I'm not saying you got to go that route, but at the same token, if you know what your customers want, what's more, not your benefits, not what you can provide them. If you know what they really want and you can provide that to them, you have a better chance of creating a relationship in which the money will flow to you.
I agree. And Austin says that the best marketers show you the problem you don't even know you have and give you the solution. I have to agree with that.
Exactly. I agree with that too. And that's the thing. So part of it, as we are entrepreneurs and as we, do services or whatever we're doing, it's the same thing. You got to present, whatever the problem is. So they always tell you, especially in copywriting. And so if you are an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to do copywriting. Like that's a no-brainer. And then from there, you'll be able to focus. Pricing is another part of that. So by copywriting, I mean, you're creating the structure of your offer in a way that okay, so people already have a narrative in their heads. Okay, everybody has a story in their heads. Everybody already has a story. So what ends up happening is the people who are the best marketers have the ability to align themselves with your story. They can jump into your story and then because you're not going to change. That's why they try to get you when you're really young, right? And so if you notice with marketing, they try to get kids when they're young to get them. So because your habits aren't going to change for the most part. You're not going to change a 45-year-old man who's been going to a certain restaurant or buying certain toothpaste or whatever he or she's buying. So that's kind of like that's kind of the impetus behind it. So you have to make sure that you're aligning yourself with the narrative that's currently in that target's head.
I agree. Hello, Austin. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for
Hi,
having
Austin.
me. Hey, man. So you still actually have an echo.
What was that? Sorry.
Photos have an echo.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, I think you do sometimes.
Yeah. So
I don't have an echo, do I?
No, you're good, my friend.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let me go out and come back in.
I jumped in midway. What's your name, my friend?
It's Ebong, EBONG.
Oh, okay. Oh, if I speak, echo.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think I have an echo though. But do I? I didn't think I did.
No, but if I speak, I can hear it.
Okay, yeah, I can hear your echo a bit too.
Okay, so you're talking about pricing. Now, I have an echo?
Yeah, a little bit.
How's that? Better?
A little bit better.
Oh, bad microphone. Sorry, I'm going to just say my one little piece real quick. When it comes to pricing, there's two things that we kind of touched on that I would want to dive in deeper. One is understanding the worldview of your customers. And the way I try to explain this to people is imagine if from birth you have two groups of people, right? And one group, they permanently wore yellow sunglasses, and the other group permanently wore red sunglasses. And if you ask both those groups what color the sky was, one group would say it's green, and one would say it's purple. And they would battle to the death, trying to tell the other person how wrong they are, because they have this certain lens they're seeing through. And they're correct. Their lens is not wrong. If you're wearing yellow sunglasses, the sky is green. No ifs or buts about it, right? And if you're wearing red sunglasses, the sky is purple. So when we are talking about pricing, we have to get in the lens that our customers have. When I am talking to, say, a baby boomer about social media marketing, I'm not going to talk about the newest and greatest and latest things. I'm not going to sell them on something like that. I'm going to talk to them in the mechanisms they understand, which is print advertising. And I'm going to price my business around that. I'm going to say to them, how much do you pay for a full-page print ad, right? And they're going to tell me $1,000. I'm going to go, what's the return on your investment? How many people see this? Can you guarantee that they see this? Have they come through and made purchases, right? And then when I say I can for $1,000 give you 20 times those results, track that down to a purchase point, and actually show you how much money you're making, right? Then they start understanding it, right? I'm not trying to show them how. I'm trying to show them the end result, which is what they're looking for is the automation of their business, having somebody assist them. If I'm talking a millennial or Gen X, and I'm making broad stereotypes here, I'm going to be talking about something different and pricing my business different. It's not going to be, it's going to be two different models. Does that make sense?
No, I completely agree. Like what I'm talking about is extremely high level. I do the same thing when I deal with my clients as well. I'm coming from the frame of what they want. And whatever lexicon I have to come into is what I have to do. So using, to further your example, it's the exact same thing. I can't go to a baby boomer and talk about Snapchat. It doesn't make any sense, right? I got to speak with the language that they speak. And I have to speak in the language in which I can slowly, again, going back to what I said about the narrative already in their heads. So using the same example of one using red color sunglasses, the other one wearing blue or green, I have to speak to them as if they're the person with red, as if they have red color sunglasses, and then align that to what they want, to what I can provide. And I have to play that, psychological as well as verbal, not game, but verbal technique in order to get to the place where the person realizes, yes, that person can solve my problem. And it's not, it's not just, me buying a bunch of flyers or, getting a yellow page ad so I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, and the one other thing I would want to add is anybody who's looking to do really good copywriting, because you're right, if you want to up how much you're charging, you have to have better copywriting, you have to have better salesmanship, because the services that are provided for $2,000 versus $20,000 don't necessarily have to be different services. It's just, you want to make more money and charge more, well, you got to sell it better. If you want to get better at that, look at neuro-linguistic programming. It's one of the best tools I've found for making effective copywriting, because then you start understanding psychology and how people think and how to frame things to make it so people can understand it and then get people from point A to point B or whatever.
I completely agree. And you'll see that a lot even with video, like video sales letters, using NLP in your video sales letters as well. So I absolutely agree. Yeah, that's a huge thing to do. And you'll see a lot of marketers who are actually charging premium products who are online, and those who work with higher ticket, their sales letters, like you end up, like, you don't have the money in your account and you want to pull out your wallet and buy it. Like that's how good it is. Right. So I absolutely agree, Austin. That makes perfect sense.
Okay. The audio is driving me crazy. I'm going to get out of here. You guys keep
No, but thanks for being in here, Austin. Yeah, that was absolutely amazing insight. I completely agree with that. That's something that a lot of people see. The thing is, in part of it for a lot of us, it's a challenge because a lot of people don't, again, going back to what I said, you know your business, like you know whatever you're selling, whoever you are, like you know that piece. If you are a marketer, if you're an advertiser, you just know that. And so all the other aspects of it, that's something that some people sometimes struggle with.
Right. Yes, Austin gave some great insight. And so one of my questions I wanted to ask, am I echoing at all?
You're a little bit better. You're better than Austin. Austin was echoing all day long.
Okay.
But I understand what he was saying, but he was echoing. Yeah, I see. That's the thing. I echo when I don't have my Yeti mic. When I use a lot of times that's when I echo. But I mean, I'm good. And you're better.
Okay. I turn my volume down a little bit.
Okay, that may be it. The feedback.
With services. Is there? I know there's a kind of psychological thing that goes on when people see certain prices and are wanting to buy. Like, say, you have a course that you're wanting to, price. And I've seen a lot of people price for like $49 as opposed to straight, $50. Can you talk about a little bit about that and how that works?
Oh yeah, you mean with like people doing like the $997s rather than $1,000? Yeah. There's been studies that show that. So there's a few people. I can't remember the study per se, but there's been a few people who've done this study to show that the mind automatically, if you say $49 versus $50, it's less than $50. That's why you'll see even in physical products like in the stores, it's $19.99. It's not $20. Like at $20 is a different feeling, a different frame of your reality. So you go with the 99 for like physical products, the 97 for the online courses. Very few people go the full, but I believe the difference is negligible. And so again, if I'm coming from a place where I'm bringing value to you, my concern is like, can my product or my course help you? If it can help you, to me personally, I don't think it really matters as much. Then again, I'm probably going to do it like everyone else when I launch my course. So I'll probably do like the 97 at the end, end it with a 7 for online course, just because that's just something that people are accustomed to. But I don't think people should spend their time trying to test different. It's a waste. Like the amount of money you have to spend to test to see what the difference is, you literally just wasted all your time and your money. Like it's a lot of money. Like you can't just, sell one course and sell. You got to do like hundreds and hundreds of thousands and thousands of differences and then weigh the data. So it's not really worth it, to be honest with you. But I believe that's where it comes from.
Okay, so you should just go ahead, price what you know what you're worth, and stick to it, not try to, say, will they buy it for 47 or will they buy it for 60?
Yeah, another thing I want to add to that too is this: is like when people struggle with pricing certain things, it's because one, they don't believe that what they're selling has the value enough to charge. Like they look at themselves like this is all a narrative we have in our heads. It's not something that someone has told you. Like it's not like you had a course and a guy who has like a $2,000 course, right, 1997. Comes and tells you your course is garbage. It should be $29. Like no one's telling you these stories. We're telling ourselves this, and we look in the mirror and say, I don't have the credentials, I don't have the experience, I don't have any of these things. Therefore, I shouldn't charge what that person is charging. And it's crazy, right? The person who values what you're doing. If I can bring a solution to you. So, for example, just a simplistic example. If you're pulled over on the side of the road and your tire's out, and I can come and replace your tire without you having to go somewhere else, I mean, that is more valuable to you than you waiting to find somebody else because, that person may or may not be cheaper. Like at that particular point in time is what value do I bring to you that you need at some need you have or some results you want to have. And so if someone's working with you from a social perspective, or when Austin was in here, it's like they want, at the end of the day, the bottom line is when you're working with somebody, they want to make money, right? That's the last rung. It's like it's a ladder of stuff. So you go through all these things. The bottom basement thing or concept is I want to make money in my business. And all you're doing is providing them a roadmap to get there, whether it's social, whether it's coaching, whether it's online advertising, marketing, copywriting, whatever it is. And so if you go along with this person through that path, you'll start to realize what you're worth. And so, for example, if I say, okay, my service, my package is $5,000 for you to use my for you to hire me, for me to do the social stuff for you, do some social packaging for you, right? But if everything works the way I believe it'll work, you'll probably make $20,000. Kind of like what Austin is saying. Then the conversation no longer becomes about price,
right?
Because basically, because of return, I can show you what the return most likely could be, and that's what that's the frame we need to come from. It's not, I met somebody at a conference I know I'm talking a little bit longer, but I want to get the story out. So I met. So I met somebody. Sorry, I met somebody at a conference in September, and she was telling me about a course she was putting together, and she said she priced it at like $47. It's like 10 or 12 modules. I was like, how long did it take you to do all this? She's like, well, it took me about a month and a half. I go, you selling for $47? What are you doing? Like, what do you? And she's like, well, I don't know if people can afford it. And she started telling me these stories, like a narrative. I don't know if people can afford it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's whatever. I was like, if you're charging $47, you might as well give it away for free.
Right.
Because there's no way I'm sitting here in front of my computer looking at your course, thinking in my mind that you can solve my problem for $47.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so the other example is this. You go to a dealership to buy a BMW, and they tell you a 2016 BMW is $5,000. You'll think something is wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know the value of what that should be. Like, just so happens you know a BMW with the value of that, because you can go online, you can do Kelley Blue Book, Auto Trader, so you know that. So when someone's telling you it's $5,000, you automatically think it's stolen. There's no engine in it. There's no tires. Maybe it's not a BMW. It's a DMW. It's a fake car. Something. You're thinking all these different things, and so that is. So when somebody comes and says, here's my course for $47, in my mind, I'm thinking there's no way you can solve my problem for $47. There's no way. You're not doing me a favor. You're not doing yourself a favor.
Yeah, especially if it's 10 modules, right?
10
That's
modules.
insane.
She told me that. I blazed her. I was like, I just told her, no, I didn't even know her. I can't remember her name. I was like, look, don't do this, and she's like, well, I don't know. I was like, look, you might as well give it away for free and use it as a lead magnet if that's what you're going to do.
Wow. I'm surprised about that. So, you were talking about the copywriting earlier. Do you mind speaking on that? Because that's something that I need to learn more about and get more into.
Definitely. Are you familiar with Kimra Luna?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody knows Kimra Luna. Every woman who's online knows Kimra Luna, of course, and everybody knows Kimra. And I think. Does anyone else hear a bad echo from Fo? Yeah, I think you got an echo again.
Okay. I'm going to go out and come back in.
You're going to go out and come back in? Okay, and I'll pause while you go out and come back in.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
It's not echo?
I don't think so. Let me see. Hey, Vicky, what do you think? Is there an echo? She said yes. Maybe it's your volume. I don't know. Or you using headphones?
I am.
I don't know why. Are you what kind of are you using? The headphones have a mic?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to think why that is.
Okay.
Because I don't hear the echo. Can you hear the echo? I have Loa here. She can't hear the echo. Yeah, you sound fine to me. If I mute yours, I don't hear the echo. If I mute yours.
If you mute mine? What about now? I took the headphones off.
There's a little bit of feedback. That's good. Okay, it's better now. Okay, that's good. That's better.
It was my crappy headphones.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
When you muted Yvonne. Oh my goodness.
So do you want me to should I mute mine? Does everybody else hear mine okay? I'm fine too. Okay, Drina thinks I'm fine too. Okay. Let me just because I have my mic. My mic's working. Podcast it. All right. It's delay when we hear flow through. Oh, when you hear flow through my speakers, maybe that's why. Oh, because my mic is here. So maybe I should use headphones. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use headphones. Okay. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Hey, Sean, I saw your message about finally getting on.
Huh? What you say?
So silly.
Let me just get my headphone life right. There we go. These things are garbage. Beats.
Yeah, that's right.
In stereo. Yes. Okay. So I remember my story.
Okay, good.
We're gonna talk about. Hopefully this works. This has a mic too, but I hope it doesn't pick it up. Okay. All right. How's that? It's good.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't hear myself anymore.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Blab works best with headphones, as Adam says.
Okay,
awesome
great.
Sauce. Yes, as we proceed,
to give
you what you need. That's right. 9-5 Mickey Fickies.
Yeah.
All right. So back to say, so Kimra. So a lot of people know Kimra, and I think she, for her particular, for her launch brand, Better You, I forgot what it's called. I think she listed out either in a blog post or somewhere I read where she literally talks about, she lists out all the costs she had and like kind of like an income report. And one of the things that I noticed was she spent like at least, I don't know, about $1,000 or more on copywriting for it. And if you think about it, it's really important. It really doesn't matter how good a product you have. If, right. Going back to what Austin said, if you can't understand if there's no way we can relate together, there's no way that you can understand what I'm saying and I can't understand what you're saying, we can't do that bridge, that connection, you're not going to buy my product. Some of the best products that have been sold have great copywriting in the sales letters, in the launch and everything else they're doing. So I really believe that, whatever product you have, whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to build, it's imperative that it doesn't have to be expensive, but you got to find somebody who can write copy so it works for your product. And that's part of like what Austin was saying with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and writing it in a way, even with video, writing it in a way that, that you're literally walking your customer or your clients through this little, this little maze of things until they decide to buy.
Okay. So for somebody like, say, me, for instance, or any new person, and even there probably are some people out there who have been doing whatever their business is and they don't have any copywriting. How can they get started, or how should they go about getting started? Should they look for somebody, or should they buy your book, or are there other, how-tos?
I don't talk about copywriting in my book at all.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm pretty sure I don't. I do a little bit, like just in terms of it's important that you do it. But I think there's a few things. You can literally go, I'm trying to think online. Just research. It's basically, you can go to like Copyblogger. Copyblogger.com. You can check out there and like look for tips. You can also go to Copy Chief. There's a guy named Kevin Rogers. He has an online community called Copy Chief, and if you join, I think for the first month or for either for 2 weeks or for the first month, it's like $1. And you have access to all these copywriters all over the world who, if you have an idea, if you're a member, you have an idea, you go in, Copy Chief, that's it. Oh yeah, you wrote that. Okay. I was like, somebody else wrote that. I was like, yeah, Copy Chief. I was like, no, you wrote that. So you can go in and check it out, and then what happens is people like can opine on your idea, and people could, if you wrote your own copy, if you're looking for somebody who has copy to your own, like to help you. I mean, that's basically it. And basically the website is just copychief.com.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm at the end of the day, regardless of what your product, you can. I'm trying to think of the person I used. I used somebody to write some copy for me, which I'll use to write copy for my next for this course that I'm releasing, and I forgot what it's called. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but he's not that expensive, and the copy, like I was reading it, the copy looked really good, like just from like my from understanding copy a little bit. It was actually pretty good.
Okay. Cool. I don't know. Were you pausing?
Oh no, I'm done. I was done. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. So does anybody else have any questions? Does anybody want to jump in and ask Ebong any questions? If not, I got some more.
Yeah. I just found. Here it is. I just found. This is what I was looking. I was looking for the copywriter I used. It's Copy Chief, and then the other one is MikeShreve.com.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for sharing that info. Hello, Vicky. How are you?
Hi, Vicky Fish.
Awesome. What's up, bro? What's up? The Auburn Assassin in the house. Woo,
Auburn Assassin.
Ebong gave me that. He gave me that name. He calls me the
that's
Auburn
her
Assassin.
moniker. The Auburn
Yes,
Assassin.
I like
hashtag.
that.
Right?
So jelly.
I know, right? See? But you have to, if you get some red hair, I'll share it with you.
Okay.
There you go.
But you have to go red, girl. No, no middle of the road. We got to go red.
All the way? Okay.
All the way.
Oh, well, first of all, Ebong, hey, my friend, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. I just wanted to say, I don't know if you saw in the chat box, but I said it always is the man's fault. Just saying, when the echo was happening, it had to be the boy.
That's true.
So I love, I'm going to order your book. I still haven't, because I actually want to put it as part of my book club, but I just want to encourage, I didn't necessarily have a question so much, but just to let the people in the chat box know, first of all, tweet this out. If you guys have not heard this man on Periscope every morning, he rocks it every single day. He's full of value. I want to see those blue things popping up, guys. Yeah. Ready? I want to see him go. Pop those up. Because he delivers major value all the time. And Ebong, you don't even know how important, I mean, you do, but you just don't know, because I don't think we ever really encompass how much value we're providing for the community, because people tell us, but we don't quite get it. But you rock it every day, my friend. You really do. And I just really want you to know that I appreciate it. And Fo, as you know, I adore you. I think you're amazing. And I think it's really cool that you brought Ebong on. And, again, you rock it, my friend. I love watching you in the morning. The only days I don't watch you is because I always want to look at the comments. I want to get involved. I got to get my hair done and stuff. And then I go, I can't. No shiny objects. So then I'll try and catch the replays later. But seriously, my friend, you rock it. You rock it every day, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Just to add to that, it's just for me, I want people to realize that when I do the scopes, it's coming from, I feel like I'm looking in the mirror. So I'm part of it. So I'm kind of reminding myself, I'm two separate people. Yeah. So that, my higher level of consciousness is is reminding me, look, you need to do these things. And the lower level of consciousness, things that I've been struggling with, I share those on purpose. So that I want people to see, that I've gone through it. I'm going through it. We're all on the same page. And I get emails from people literally every week from somebody saying, something you said today did X or Y, or, and that's kind of that's really emotionally touching. So I appreciate that.
Well, and the thing is, I think all good speakers, honestly, that's what they do. I mean, we pull from our own experience. And if you're not listening to your own words, I swear sometimes I'll be done and go, man, that was good. I don't even know where it came from, but it just totally ministered to me, because I think that's what good speakers do, is that we are talking to ourselves. We just happen to be sharing it out. So we get the double whammy of affecting other people who are telling us that it's good information. And then our own brain is saying, yeah, way to go. You know, it's like fitch slapping yourself, you know,
Right.
that's right. I got to do that. So anyway, you know, I totally appreciate you, my friend. And I hope I think
thank
you already
you so
know
much.
that, but I totally appreciate it.
I do. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate this woman right here too.
Thank you. I have to agree with you, Vicky. When I watch those scopes, I'm like, you know what? Dang, man. It's like, that was really some serious stuff. You have to really evaluate. You're like,
Right?
Yeah.
It's because it is serious. It is serious stuff.
I just came in to protect Ebon because I don't trust Vicky. She's trying to steal her over to Team Red.
bomb.
It doesn't matter. He's Team Robert. You stay away from him.
Look, Robbie.
She's gonna pitch slap you.
My team.
You know it. Did you hear that
I know.
we're going to be live on Monday? That he's actually going to be in LA, and I'm literally going
flying
to be
out
able to
to
fish
LA.
slap
I'm
him in
meeting
person.
with
You are?
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. I love that. I'm gonna make sure.
podcast live Monday night.
That's so awesome. What time? What time is it?
7:30 Pacific.
Same time as normal.
That's so
'cause we're
awesome.
going to be in.
Okay.
I don't know if we're doing 2 boxes or we're going to be in one together where she can
Oh,
literally.
heck no. I ain't getting in no box with you. I
Yeah,
need to
but
be
we
able to
can't-
backhand you across the box.
We can't be 20 feet from each other then because of the.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I'll run over and make sure I slap you right on camera. We'll figure it out, but it is going to be a hoot. It really is.
right?
And we're not trying to blabjack, foe. Sorry about that, babe.
No blabjack. And I love you.
Did you get the answer in the Facebook group, Fo, that you were looking for?
I don't think I did. I didn't see anybody reply to my answer.
Oh, I thought somebody did. That's why. 'Cause
Okay,
you
then
can-
I'll go
you
double check.
can Get somebody out of the group if you want them.
Oh, cool. Okay. I will
Somebody
double
did
check
answer
that.
and they answered it the right way. That's why I didn't answer it.
Perfect. Okay. I will check that out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I was checking on you.
You came to get some more people on Team Robert. Trying to get
No,
off-
no,
You
no.
know he did. No, that's exactly what
No,
he did.
I came to protect my man because he is on Team Robert.
Oh, is that okay?
Please.
So-
And I
you
saw
said-
Vicky in the room and I went, oh, she's going to sweet talk him. She's going
Oh,
to try to
please.
get him straight back over the fence.
He was already on my team, and you sugared him up somehow, and he switched to yours. So you know,
But how strong was he
I
on
don't
your
beg.
team if he
I do
swayed
not
so
beg
easily?
for peeps to come back on my team.
I was like a palm tree just blowing through a hurricane, just back and forth, bending and bending. But I didn't break. I just bend.
We call you
Yeah,
a
back
flip.
and
I call
forth.
those flip floppers. Remember, you're a flip
That's
flopper.
true. That's true.
It's
That's
better
right.
than it's better than what Alex Kahn is doing. Every time
what's
the
he doing?
conversation goes, oh, got to go.
Yeah, I don't. My English, I didn't get that. I'm German. I'm German. That's what he always says. I'm German. I don't know. I'm German.
That is funny.
Oh.
Too funny.
But Fo, you're Team Red, right, girlfriend? You're
I'm Team Red. I love Robert, but I'm Team Red.
Whoop whoop.
And that's okay.
She ain't a flip flopper.
Us girls got to stick together.
You redheads have to stick together.
Yeah, we do.
I'm a redhead, so.
Oh my gosh.
But do you guys, I'm not trying to kick you off or anything. Stay on as long as you want. I want to know if you guys wanted to add anything about pricing, how you do in your businesses, or copywriting or anything like that.
Well, I don't
Ladies
do
first.
so much on copywriting, but pricing, I do a lot of talking on pricing, not necessarily picking the price as much as, what Abong does is, but, talking to people to hold their price points, because that seems to be a waffling area that people will be like, oh yeah, I'm charging, like I was coaching somebody yesterday. And I was talking to her. This woman has a master's degree and a bunch of other associate degrees and stuff in nutrition and all this stuff. And I said, okay, so we got to really talk about your price point. What's your hourly rate? And she goes, what's minimum wage? And I was like,
Wow.
I go, what? So we were going through this whole thing, and I was like, and she's like, well, it's not that I think I should get minimum wage. I don't know where to start. I was like, you're starting in that jurisdiction? And I said to her, I'm sorry, just really quick. Didn't you tell me you were like hiring a housekeeper? She said, yeah. And I go, what does she make? And she was
Right.
like about $30 an hour. And I go, okay, so you have some degrees and you're a nutritional expert. And so you figure you should start about 2 notches down from the girl that doesn't have any education and is wiping the tables. And not that there's anything wrong with that job.
Yeah.
And so looking at that and trying to give people that humorous way of like reevaluating and reframing so they get it. Okay, yeah, all right. I don't have to drop my price point. And so, where I said, so where can we get you? And honestly, I got her to $60 an hour. That's as far as I could get her to mentally stretch just for starters. Right. But that's okay. I asked her, I said, okay, well, what I would like to do is can you just humor me and at least consider this before we post it on your page that you do $150 an hour, but you're doing a special, can we just because, you have to get people to, right, Ebong, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
that
I absolutely agree.
If they're worth 10,000, but they don't believe it, they're never going to get it. So we got to get them to where at least they feel, okay, yeah, I'm worth this. And then we can adjust as we get, I call them the little wins, just a little win where somebody, where we either acknowledge something or we feel something or we help someone. And then we can move ourselves past that and start to identify, okay, that we really do have, we have more value. So that's just my little tip on holding your price point and understanding.
That's huge because that is that's the other side of it. It's not just knowing like the number or everything else. Like Vicky said, she's absolutely right. It's the psychology. If you don't believe, just say anything else, your beliefs are your structure. So if you don't believe you're worth, $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, like Tony Robbins believes he's worth, $1 million a month to some guy, and somebody gladly pays it. And the person who's confident in what they're charging, like it's so weird. Like I'll go to a store. Like if you go to I say Christian Louboutin store as an example. I've never been, but if you were to go, they're confident. They're confident in what they're selling to. If you go to a Maserati dealership, they're not going to say, you know what, we're really a $40,000 car, but I have to sell it at $100,000. No, they're going to ask you to get out of here, right? They're like, look, it's $100,000. You buy it or get the hell out. Like that's. It's because they know, and so that's part of it is getting the emotional, the psychological piece to that. So yeah, I completely agree with what Vicky's saying, and too often we don't think about that as well.
Yeah,
it really goes down.
Because even if somebody's worth, like I said, a course that you were talking about, Ebong, is worth, $500. If they don't believe it, they can't sell it. I mean, their website might be able to because people might stumble on it. But if you're saying, yeah, it's 300, people are like, what? Yeah, your body language it's 300. Like
it's 300. Please say yes.
But it's more usually it's 300. But you don't have to pay it. It's totally okay. You know what? I'll give it to you for free if you just want to try it out. Let me know how you think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Robert. What were you?
Well, what about you, Robert? Because I know you have some great insight.
You mean he's got something to say because he's Robert.
He's a godfather of social.
God, I love that woman.
Yeah.
No,
what's that, bro?
I with Ebong, I listening to him about pricing all the time. How much is your time worth? Mentally. Everybody says, "Oh, it's a course. It's 6 hours. It's $5.99. So it's $100 an hour." It's like, well, it only took me 4 to 5 months to make the course. So let's factor in all those hours, and then let's factor in, getting it up on the website and getting the membership site, and then my marketing hours, and then all my paperwork that I have to do to set it up, and all the things I have to do. All of a sudden, that 6-hour course turned into 100 hours of work. Well, how much is your time worth? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, people say, when I do my speaking, and you can relate to this, obviously you travel, you've done TEDx and everything else, and Vicky's done some speaking. I know, they'll say I'm going to Ireland next March, and it's, I said, this is my rate, and I sent my contract, and they signed off on it and everything else. They didn't question it. And it's not just my flight out. I stay at the hotel, I get up and speak, and I leave. Well, what do you want me to talk about? Well, I'm not going to come with a predisposed, I did this 2 weeks ago, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to specialize it for your situation. So I have to put more time into it. Yeah. So bottom line is, how much is your own time worth?
Yeah.
And then going on what Vicky said, I agree. 1,000%, which is very hard for me to do because
It's really weird for you to ever say that. I've never heard you actually agree with me.
I
before.
know, and it's
I'm feeling a little. I don't know. I have a headache. Something's wrong.
dehydrated.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little. I think I'm a little
Recorded, so,
dehydrated.
I mean,
you know,
hey.
I'm a little dizzy in this situation.
Just saying.
But no. But agreeing with Vicky, it's if you don't believe you're worth it, why should they?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like I
Absolutely.
say on social media all the time, you know, why should people interact with you on social media if you're not willing to interact with them? Well, guess what? Go on to pricing now. Use that same analogy. Why should they believe you're worth $4.99 for that course if you don't even believe it?
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. You know, like I think Vicky said, you know, hey, it's $4.99. $3.99 good?
Yeah.
Listen, I'll give it to you for $2.99 right now.
If you want to just, or let's trade those. You know,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that hide behind the trade, right?
Oh, the
How
barter.
about we just
Yeah,
trade?
let's
We
barter.
don't have to. Let's
Barter,
just
yeah.
trade. Yeah, it's like. Okay, I'm
Barter.
not saying that it's bad to ever do trades. Like, I mean, there are,
Yeah.
but you have to trade value for value. If I charge $1,000 an hour and you charge $20 an hour, we're not trading hour for hour. You know, I mean,
yeah.
you got to
Right.
own who you are, and you just got to, you have to deliver that message. And like I said, even
Yeah.
if you need a business or mentor to coach you through it, you'll make so much more money in the long run. All you have to, as you reframe and as you get that, like, look at my client that was like, what's minimum wage? You know,
Yeah.
we get her to 30, we get her to 60. You know, I mean, we already did, so, 6 times what she was willing to start with or whatever. But
Yeah.
but that's what people need, is that we kind of get stuck, don't you think, you guys, that we
Yeah.
get stuck with what other
Listen, as
people
a
dishes
new-
out to us.
As a new company, if somebody's starting a new service,
Mm-hmm.
You need to go do some research. Find out
Yeah.
what other people in your industry are charging. Do I say charge the same? No. Do I say charge more or less? No. But find out what your competition is doing. Now, as
Yeah.
much as they are competition, they're not competition because
Yep.
they're not you.
Yep.
They're not you. That's
true.
the bottom line. What it goes back to, it's you. If you think you're
Yeah.
worth it, then go for the $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like Realty Auction just said, if my clients don't cringe when I tell them my fee, my quote was too low. Like, the worst thing in the world is when you say to somebody, my fee is this, and they say yes right away because they know in their heads that I'm
Right.
getting a deal. Like, they're like, oh, it's $1,000 done. You know, like, before you change your mind. You know, that's kind of how it looks like. You know, when that happens, you're like, damn. Like, and you know it inside. You're like, all right, I probably could have gotten more.
When I start, that reminds me of when I started out in social media. I was a realtor for almost, I don't know, 8-9 years, and everybody started asking me first. They were first telling me stay away from social media. All the big real estate people, wasn't that big yet. It's a fad. It's this. I go, listen, I'm a 1099 employee just like you. I want to try it. I'm going to see what it does. 6 months later, guess who was knocking on my door? Hey, Robert, could you show us this stuff on Facebook? Because now my business skyrocketed and they're all doing the same. And it was like, could you train us? I'm like, sure. The nice, as Vicky would say, the nice little Robbie was helping other. Well, that built up to almost 17 people in my office that I was helping. And I'm doing it out of the nicest of my heart, and it starts eating away my time. And now it's affecting my business.
Yeah.
Vicky's
I'm a
been
realtor.
doing some fitch slapping of Robert.
So I turned in the middle at the beginning of the class. I said, guys, I'm just letting you know, it's affecting me personally now. I have my daughter. I'm married. I have a house. You guys know I'm a realtor. I'm doing my business, but all this time is now affecting me. I have to start charging you.
Yeah.
Okay. And they all kind of went, oh. The step back, and I said, I'm sorry. My time is worth money, just like for you guys.
The moral to the story is charge from the beginning, and you don't have to worry about it.
Well,
Yeah.
but this is the part where he was just saying, and I said, this is what I'm charging per class. Now, I thought I gave a reasonable number. I didn't think I was charging full, probably what I could have charged, but I was charging a good number that I thought people would be like, oh, no, I'm not paying that.
Yeah.
I gave my number. I did. Now, remember, I don't have a business yet. I'm just doing this for myself for real estate. I said it's going to be $100 a class. which I thought is fair, about an hour. You know, I don't have this full business. If Facebook's, it was 2009. It wasn't like it exploded yet into training seminars and everything else.
Yeah.
I had 17 checks on my table. All 17 just whipped out their checkbook and did it. And all I'm sitting there going, and this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm going,
damn,
son of a. Am I actually that good, or did I just ask for too little?
Yeah.
And I didn't know, because you know what I'm saying? I had nothing to go by. You know, I mean, Vicky, think about it. Back in 2009, how much social media, we weren't doing it back then.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't know what to go by.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, $100. There's 17 people in the class. That's $1,700 for an hour.
Yeah.
But it's like that ticked my, and that's, of course, you know, within a week I incorporated and said, wait a minute, there's something here.
Right.
And it's true. You just, you know, that's why it's important to find out, because if there are other people doing your type of industry or job, find out what they're charging. I'm not saying charge the same. I'm not saying charge more or less. Find out what they're charging. At least you have something to gauge it by.
I agree.
But it goes back to, and you talk about it all the time when you're sitting in your car. I love his scopes in his car.
Thank you.
All do.
Thank you.
And wait, the sunglasses with the mirror image, right? I like look at. I want to go in there and look at myself and go, do I look as good as him in those shades? Because I want to look cool. I want to be like A-Bong.
You know what it goes back to? Bottom line, everything about pricing, everything about sales, everything about that. If you don't believe in yourself, everything else is useless.
Yeah.
It all comes from inside you first.
That's the confidence factor that we're always talking about. And that's one of the things, you know, when people ask, Vicky, how did you do so many things at such a young age? It's like, because I believed I could. And I was really confident. I wasn't faking it. I just did it. And if I made a mistake, I just owned it and I just worked through it. And I just kept going. So, you know, it's really cool. And like I said, I'm glad that happened to you, Robert, where you got to see that, because that gives you that education. It gives you the next stepping stone to be able to deliver value for people. And, you know, I think that's what's really kind of awesome.
But that's the whole thing. 2009, 2010. I mean, we weren't the social media. I hate the word, and he doesn't use it. He calls me the Godfather instead. But you know how much I hate those words, expert, guru, and everything else. Yeah. So it's like, but they weren't around in 9 and 10 that much.
Yeah.
You didn't have that push. I mean, you know, with hey, this is the Facebook expert, and this is the Instagram. I mean, they weren't around long enough. Yeah. Now a social platform comes on, it happens in a month.
Yeah.
You know, Vicky was an expert in the jewelry industry after 2 days, you know.
Dude, I think since birth. I'm pretty sure this was a talent.
Vicky was actually an expert with Park Lane Jewelry before Park Lane Jewelry existed.
Well, not before they existed, because they're older than I am. But, you know, they came after me. They recruited me from my other company. They came after me. As a matter of fact, when I went and interviewed, when they flew me out to Chicago, I was in there, and, you know, I can be a little sassy, right? You know, you probably have noticed that. Maybe just a little bit, right? Just a little, right?
That reminds me of the Dana Carvey. Just a little bit.
So anyway, so I'm there, and when they asked me if I would come in, I was working for another direct sales company, and I said, I'm not interested in what you guys have to offer. I just want you to know that. And they said, well, we want to fly you in anyway. And I said, okay, but I want to be honest. If I don't like what you're saying, I'm just going to use it to recruit against you. I just making sure that we're clear. And they started cracking up. They were just laughing like this girl's, she's kind of gutsy, you know? And so they said, yeah, but we still want you to come in. So I go in, and then the president, the CEO, he comes out. He's like, oh my gosh, Vicky Fitch, I've always wanted to meet you. And I go, really? Why? And I seriously, like, don't stroke me. Like, what do you know? And he goes, because I know you've been top 10 in your company. I know you've hit all these incentive trips. I know you had your own cabin and this, and you were dead. And he starts listing off all this crap. And I was like, oh,
He
All
did
right,
do
you
his
guys know who
homework.
I am. And so I, not that he put me in my place, but he changed my perspective because I thought, oh my gosh, he's just going to sit here and blow smoke. So,
Yeah.
So it's that whole thing of, people understanding who you are and what your talents are does reflect, in your, I don't imagine there's too many people that cop an attitude with the CEO and it wasn't an attitude. Right. But I'll cop attitude with you.
No, I meant I would.
Oh,
you weren't on my call the other day.
Really?
3 hours I was on that call with Geneva.
Really? And
this guy grilled me, and I just kept going right back at him.
Good job,
CEO,
brother.
Major top 100 company. He grilled me about social media. I don't think it's necessary, and I just came right back at him. And now I got another meeting with him next week. So,
all right, Robbie.
That's awesome.
Whoop, whoop.
But I have a question.
Awesome.
Ava, Mike B brought something up, and I don't kind of agree with it, but I'm not going to say it's 100% wrong, so I kind of want your opinion on it because you're the pricing guru.
I hate that word. I hate guru, expert.
Pricing.
All right, go ahead.
So regional specific. Some prices points just don't work in other regions of the USA. What's your take on that? Because I'm a believer, like in my industry, it just don't matter.
It doesn't matter. I don't believe it matters. I saw it too, and I was thinking about it because it all depends. It depends on the item you're selling. If you're selling roofing, if you're selling things that can be commoditized. And so what I say from a commodity perspective is this. The example I use is this. If I don't know the difference between Texaco, Exxon, Hess, Liberty Gas, I don't know the difference between any of them. Because I don't know the difference, I go to price. So as long for my car, I got to put in 91 or 93 premium, whatever. As long as I know that it's 93 and that standard is the same among all gas stations, then I'm going to go to price. Other than that, but there are people who live in Indiana who are paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a particular item, and there are others who are paying a tenth of that. And it's not isolated to certain cities, not isolated to certain regions. It all depends on what you're selling. If you're selling something that could be literally a commodity in someone's eyes, then it's about price. Like if I hire somebody to paint my walls, I'm going to look for the lowest price. Because to me, I don't see I'm saying in my eyes, I may not necessarily see the value. Home sales is an example as well. It is exactly. So home sales, that's a perfect example. That is a regional thing because people deserve. But in the same token,
right.
If inventory plays a role, supply plays a role. So in the Washington D.C. area, homes average $1 million easy, like $700,000-800,000 to $1 million tops, easy for them to exist. And so the bigger thing is there's nothing you can do about that from a market perspective. But if you know somebody needs to live here and you know that somebody needs a certain school system, needs to live in a certain area, needs certain amenities, and you can play to that. If you're dealing with the wife, as an example, she loves the kitchen, you can play to that. Like there are ways in order to sell, to move things. You got to be a lot more creative, but price may play a little bit of a role only because, supply and demand because I can't sell a house for $1 million in Indianapolis. It's not going to happen. But if a CEO of a company moves there and he really needs to live there, that might be the person I sell it to.
See, but now he added in, I can't get $1,500 per person for a social media sales boot camp in Butte, Montana. I'm a social media person. And Vicky, you do that one.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And then, okay, so let me tell you why I don't agree. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying that there are people in every part of the country, in every part of the nation, in every part of the world that will buy your services at the price point you set. You just have to build value in it. You have to be confident in your value, and you have to be able to articulate it well enough and help people understand. I call it reducing it to the ridiculous. I think I got that from Tom Hopkins. It's not a one of my own, things, so I don't want to try and take claim for it. But you reduce things to the ridiculous where you understand, and so where you can break it down. And so if that 1,500 turns into 10,000 for you, is it worth it? And so if you can break things down and let people see how that works, that changes it. So I don't agree that you can't get 1,500 for it. You might not be confident enough to deliver the message and to gather the money to actually close the sale at 1,500.
He just threw a challenge to you.
All right, I'll check it
He
out.
has a call to action for you,
He
Vicky.
said that prove it.
Yeah.
Let's work together to build it.
Oh, well, fly me out there, brother. Pay my fees, and I will show you how it's done. Let me tell you, that is my specialty. I've been doing that since I was young.
To further what Art Jones is saying, that's what we were talking about earlier, is value pricing. So again, you align it to what they want. Everybody wants something. Everybody, when people pay money, they want a desired result or they want to solve a problem. Your goal as a salesperson, because we're all salespeople, is to figure out what exactly they want. They don't want social media. They don't want a social media boot camp. They want more sales. They want to sell something. They want to increase their revenue. And so your goal is to align whatever you do with social to show that person that this, that can happen. So if you're kind of gonna send out, I'm sorry, I'm just reading somebody else's stuff. But anyways, yeah, so that's basically it. That's basically how I look at it. So it's not in that particular case. Definitely, there's no way, because there's a guy who lives in Montana named maybe he's in Idaho. His name is Russell Brunson. The dude, Russell. Some people may or may not know Russell Brunson, but he charges $100,000 as a retainer, and then he makes a percentage off the funnels he creates for certain online businesses, up to $1 million. The guy does several $1 million a year living in the middle of nowhere. And there's people who live there, people flying all over the world just to work with him. So yeah, so I don't necessarily agree with that.
I think it depends what you said earlier. Houses are regional. Some products are definitely going to be in a situation. But when it comes to services, I think it's a different situation. Services goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Services goes about you proving your belief and you proving on what you're worth. Now, some people you're going to be able to do that, and some people you're not. It depends on the situation. I mean, I have clients all over the country, all over the world. I mean, I got clients in London, and trust me, coaching in the United Kingdom is looked down upon. And I'm picking up clients now privately. They don't want to verbalize it. A couple of them that are picking it up, and they're doing it. And it just depends. Yeah. And they're paying the same fee as the same one's paying in New York City, that the same one's paying out in California, that the same one's paying up in Idaho. And they're all paying the same number. I'm not changing my price due to location. Me is me.
So Jonathan had a question. He said, how do you move your customers from free to try over to value must-have product?
Well, I would like to just pop in on that, because then I'm going to jump out and go finish homework with my son and let Anthony pop into my spot. So then you guys can answer it afterwards. But so if I'm understanding your question correctly, Jonathan, right? Like I do a free 20-minute consultation, and then are you asking how then you convert that information over? How do you convert them to paying clients? Is that what I'm going to answer it that way, because that's what I think it sounds like, right? Yes. A free to try, we're a 20-minute consult, and then create that. So I do a 20-minute consultation and give them, and I can't see these in case he's responding. Okay, so I do a free 20-minute consultation, and during that consultation, I literally do 20 minutes. I have them fill out a survey first, so I have prep work, and I do 30 minutes to an hour with the prep work. So this, I am putting 2 hours into that, but they only have to put 20 minutes in, right? And so I have them fill that out. I do my work. We do our call. I say, hey, I just want, Jonathan, are you ready for our call? I'm so excited. It's by really fast. So I'm going to set it for 15, and then you'll have 5 at the end. My first question for you is, if we could only answer one question today, what would it be? What is your main objective? And then I jot that down, and I say, great, let me go ahead and go over these other things that I've addressed with you, tell you how, and I pack it with value. So they see, oh my gosh, she gets me, she gets my business, she's giving me tips without asking me for any money, that regardless of what the transition is, that this is what you need to do and how you need to change your business. I plant the seeds of how they can increase those sales. When the timer goes off for the 5 minutes left, I'll go over what other questions you have. And then at the end of that, I say, based on our conversation today, can you see value in us working together? And then I wait for them to answer. If they say no, which I've never had anybody say no yet. I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I've never had anybody say no. If they say no, then I obviously didn't do my job. I missed the mark. I did something. But when they say yes, that's when you have the opportunity to present your products and programs. They've given you permission, and then that's your chance. If you know how to sell, that's where you convert. That's where you transition those over to actual paying clients. So I know that's a light kind of answer, but hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah. I'll also add to that too. So you hit it a lot of times with people who have maybe it's an app or an online software, and they'll do something like free for the basic level of it is free, and then there's a premium. like a premium level as well, and they're trying to get people to migrate from from basic or free to premium.
Right.
The key is this: those people most likely at that level, depending on what you're selling, they're most likely not going to go up because they joined. If the reason they joined was because it was free, the incremental difference to them is not as valuable as someone who's going to pay. So if I join something for free and I have to start paying, it's because I saw value. And if they don't jump at that in this particular case, in my example, they're most likely not going to jump. And so the free to try stuff, like it's different with coaching because I do the same thing. I talk to people. I do a 30-minute discovery, and I just very similar to kind of what Vicky does. Not as amazing as she does it, but I do a pretty good job with it. But and I just keep it. I just keep it, because I don't want to get fish slapped.
That's right. You don't, because it's painful.
Oh, you're better than her.
It's lingering effects, and so
Wait,
so I have
what? Can you kick him out, Fo? Can you kick him out? Kick Stern out. Bobby? Wait.
Mom?
And,
all right, I'm shutting up now because I'm going to get out of here.
and just to further what Mike said, that's exactly it. I always try to get people to put skin in the game because it's one thing if it's a discovery. That's a no-brainer. You gotta try and get rapport and all that other stuff, to talk.
Right.
But if there's anything else, there has to be skin because and there's been studies that show people are more likely to finish things if they have something to lose, right? Like losses loom larger than gains. Like if they're going to lose something, they will care more about what they're doing, whether it's money, time, effort, exactly. So if someone's like, there's no, it goes back to the same thing of I'm going to give you a 50% discount off the top for no apparent reason, right? Like it only matters if the value has been shown. So yeah.
So let me just interrupt really quick and say Anthony's going to come in. Thank you, guys. I will try and pop back in if I can. But, Fo, thanks for letting me in today.
You're welcome.
Hey, Bong, thanks
stopping
for
by.
always delivering such great value. Yeah, you Stern. I'll see you on Sunday and Monday. I do love you, Robert. Even though you always
Love
throw
our
backhanded
relationship with you, too.
compliments at me, I actually do love you, Robert. So, mwah. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
All right, see
Bye,
you.
Vicky. It's a love-hate relationship with you two, isn't it?
Yes. He loves her. She hates him.
I'm gonna get some popcorn because that was pretty funny. I'm gonna get some popcorn.
Oh, look at this guy. Anthony's got the pop filter. He's got the pop filter. He sounds like a radio guy.
Okay, I gotta
It's
tell
the
you,
real deal.
I came in here for one reason and one reason only. And I came in for Ebong. That's it. Now, okay, I'm gone. I'll see you later. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, thanks, Anthony.
No, because you know what it is. See, here's the problem. Just by the way, for those of you, my name's Anthony Ace. Hi. That's it. I'm a blab addict like you guys are. No, the problem is that every time Ebong does a Periscope, it's like he always drops great nuggets and he always says thank you to me. And I can't freaking type that fast to say thank you. So I got to say it with my voice. Brother, thank you so much for the love. No,
man. I love
Appreciate
what
it
you're
very
doing, man. I appreciate
No,
you so much.
I love what you're doing, man. It's great stuff. But I got to tell you, it's a Periscope's a challenge because for me, it's really a matter of trying to like, thank you. So it's really interesting stuff. So, but no, it's really good stuff. You guys are dropping great nuggets. You really are. It's awesome. And I'm just sitting here listening about, how do you sort of build communities around your product or service? And I tell you, Vicky dropped some great stuff. I like that whole discovery process. And
Vicky has her moments.
no, she's
Yes.
she's wait, Robert. She's had a little experience, right? Just a little bit.
I learned earlier that somebody called her a veteran.
A veteran.
Yeah, so I can't wait till
She
Monday
in
night
here?
to
'Cause
use
if
that
she hears
word
that,
on
she
her.
might not want to hear that word. Don't ever call a female a veteran.
Oh no! Do you know what's going on the
Just
podcast
doesn't
on
work,
Monday
man. I'm
night?
telling you right now.
She's a veteran of the industry.
Yeah. Hey, Ebong, I was actually supposed to be in DC today, but I had to change of plans. I'm working on a fairly large deal. But next time I'm in the DC area, so you're in DC.
Let me know. Yeah,
definitely.
Let me
We'll
know.
grab dinner or something like that. But
Yeah.
I definitely want to meet
I
up
only
with you.
got a drink from him. You'll get a full dinner.
So I was in. No. Let's tell a full story. Without any drama. Okay, so
I
I
got
was
dinner and a walk to the train.
He got a little hug too. So it was all good.
He carried my book.
I carried my book to class. So I was in the city. I was in for meetings all day. Met with a customer, and then I met with this guy Austin, who considering doing some stuff for my website. And then Robert was at a conference, and then we talked to each other. And he goes, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm at Starbucks." And I wound up at this Italian restaurant, which I really like in the city. So Ebong, you come to the city, I got to take you to this place called Via Italia, really great restaurant. So I said, "Robert, it's on 46 and 6." He came and met me. I had already had dinner with my friend Mike, and I said, "Have a drink at least." So we had a drink and we talked, and it was good. Actually, it was the first time Robert and I met in person. So it was.
And then it proceeded to be me and his friend, who he's known for so long, basically just ripped Anthony apart.
In a good way. Listen. I look at it this way. Everybody needs that advisor, sort of that ghost advisor, along with a coach. Everyone. I mean, listen. We're all fairly humbly speaking. I'm in the company of greatness. Ebon's been very successful. He does great stuff. He drops great nuggets. He's an amazing speaker. He engages. He's his authenticity. He broke the authenticity and transparency scale. It's really awesome. So. When Robert sits there and he gives me some nuggets about me and what I'm doing, it's hard to see what you're doing, right? Like, you guys know,
exactly.
It's hard to look in your own mirror, right? Because oh, well, no, my hair looks pretty good today. No, it's not, Anthony. My stuff. It's one of those things. So I think it's a matter of just kind of, I call it gentle probing. Yeah. Right? You don't want to smack people in the head. You want to say, listen, you might want to consider, or have you thought about this? Or
Yes,
what does that mean to you?
What Anthony likes best most is that I don't tell him what he's doing wrong.
No.
I ask questions, and then he sits there and goes, "Oh."
Yes.
I didn't look at it like that.
Yeah.
I just ask question. I was just in another blab before, and this goes to pricing too.
Yeah.
When I
took you guys off topic. Sorry, guys.
When I do my coaching, I actually have 2 loose leaf books. And it's not that I use scripts or anything else. And every time I come up with a new question that I ask in my coaching process, I put it in my book. I have over 1,000 different questions that I've asked my coaching clients. Wow. And I'll go over those 1,000 questions usually every 3 months. Because I'll sit with, let's say if I was sitting with one of you for an hour and we're doing our coaching session, I will probably ask anywhere from 50 to 75 questions within that hour. To make you think about, how many questions did I ask that in that time, Anthony?
You probably asked like 50 questions.
And we weren't even an hour.
Yeah. No, it was, it's humbling because I can see, listen, I'm not going to pat myself on the back. I consider myself a pretty level-headed, engaging, perceptive guy. I think I can figure people out for the most part. Yeah. But it's hard to figure out yourself when somebody plays it back to you. So, it's really interesting. So let me ask you this question, and I want to talk about pricing because I have a question I want to ask everybody. Sure. So I'll ask this to Robert and also maybe to Ebong. So Ebong's periscopes are 3-4 word sentences. I've noticed, like the whole children quit thing, which I thought was good, very catchy. Would it be valuable to modify some of the scopes by saying how, when, what, where, why? Sort of start with the question to get more digital eyes on you, get people to be more, hey, that's really great. My blab tonight was, how to find and live your why. My scopes are about, are you paying it forward? Or so I always like to ask a question because people are like, oh, I know the answers to that.
And usually, you mean with the titles?
Yeah, like the titles. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That makes sense because it's like it goes to like copywriting as an example. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. A lot of times I just think of literally all the things I talk about. I'm thinking about it as I drive, and when I park, I'm like, I'm gonna talk about this.
I do the same.
That's literally how I do it. Yeah, that's literally how I do it. Right? Yeah, but that's a good point, though. That's a very good point about asking questions.
Because your use of, I'm just, I'm picking on you in a good way because I notice.
No.
For me to notice, I think it's great because I follow you on Periscope. So I think the cool thing is great use of icons. It's not like emojis in my face. It's like wait a minute, that's a bullet mark in my eye here. You want it to be like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, good fire flame there, a little happy face there, a little boom, 4 or 5 words. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that guy. Rather than like learn how to Periscope forever.
The top 17 issues for my Facebook ads were,
and here are 17 of them in the title.
Crap. I have seen that. I have seen that. That's actually, I completely agree with that. That makes perfect sense to me. like, because you're right, because I want because people who are following, they get a whole list of different things in their scopes,
Right.
and a lot of people probably scope around the same time that I do, that I know of.
Yeah.
And so, one way to stand out, when I started doing emojis, that kind of helped, but also you're right, asking the question.
Yeah.
So that's fair. That is a very good piece of feedback.
Yes, I think.
So I welcome it.
Yeah, no, and thank you. I appreciate that as well. The one thing I was, I want to talk about price for a second. I don't want to blabjack here. I just want to make sure I'm. Robert, am I blabjacking? Am I,
Not my blab. Don't ask me.
Am I blabjacking? That's the way I'm blabjacking, as they say. So, the one thing I found when so transparency here. A lot of what I do are keynotes to sales teams. I do a lot of auctions and a lot of fundraisers. So I'm like the guy, like we listen to what Anthony says. It's really, really important. So what I charge is, I think, is fair based on my experience. Nothing to do with it. I got flown to Arizona in 2007 and they paid me and I'm just confession, they paid me 10 grand, right? With everything. And I was like, oh my God, $10,000. Oh my God, this is 2007. Like, wow, this is great. Okay. But when I do stuff here and I meet with the fundraisers and the committees, and they bring up the idea of price, they say, well, we only have X number of dollars. Let's say, okay, if I charge $5, they say, well, we only have a budget for $2. And I said, well, help me understand. I always say, help me understand, because you want them to fill you in. And I look for some people. Help me understand, what's the ideal night going to be like for you? Let's go on that journey together. You want to invite people into your world and have them join the ride with you, rather than saying, well, what's your budget? Because that never works. That's like a bullet in the head. Shoot yourself in the head and just go. Put yourself in the box, bury yourself. So it's sort of like, it's like, help me understand a little bit about what the journey is. Help me what you want to try to accomplish. And then they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when you get to I go the 5 whys deep. I always go 5 whys. I say, why is that? Well, why is that? Oh, why do you feel that way? I go 5 whys deep. And then if I really can't get the customer to budge, the idea, you take it away from them. You say, maybe I'm not the right fit for you. I know there might be somebody I think maybe I'm not the right fit. And when you do that, no, but wait, but you said these things and these things and these things and these things. What you do is you alter their view a little. It's like taking off the foggy glasses and putting the clear glasses.
Yeah.
So have you come across that, Ebon? Because I know you've done a boatload of speaking engagements and.
Yeah, I mean, basically yes. And in a nutshell, what you just did is what we talked about a little earlier with other people about figuring out what they want. I like the way you do that. I do the same thing, but not in the same way. But I try to figure out, what do you really like? What are you looking to accomplish? And I ask them, what would make you happy? What would you think would be a success in this particular case? And then I start speaking in words that actually affirm that possibility, and I'm the one to provide that to them.
Right.
But I'm not afraid to walk, because if someone's like, "Hey, we want to give you a deal," and they're like, "You say you charge normally 10 grand," they're like, "Well, can you do it for 2?"
Yeah.
You're like, sometimes depending on how I'm feeling, I'm like, I'll just ask him, does that sound reasonable to you? Like, do you think I charge this much? Do you think I can go to 2? Does that make sense to you?
Right.
And obviously not everybody, you can't say that to everybody, but I will say that to some people in some regard, because they need to know that's outlandish. And so when somebody says, I did a freelancer panel once for General Assembly. And someone was asking, I work a lot. They said, I work a lot with nonprofits and they always have this and budgets. I go, don't make no mistake. When somebody says it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget for you. They have money. Right. The nonprofits have money allocated. They just don't believe that whoever you are is worth it. If Oprah or Tony Robbins came and said, you know what, you need to pay me 10 grand, they would say that's a great deal, right?
Sure.
So what is the difference?
Right.
What is the major difference?
I think for us, and again, Ebon, you and I should spend some time together. I think it's really a matter of the perception that you give to the person literally right away. Like it's either going to be a fit or it's just not. You can't force it. And it doesn't matter. And let's say you got your 10 grand. But you had to give up all this stuff. You can if it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, it quacks like a duck. It's a duck. It's awful. It's awful, because if you're having trouble now with this customer, imagine when you show up to speak, the crap you're gonna get. So you got to cut your losses. So I find I get to a point where I don't really say this much anymore. But what I do say, this is one I've tried, and you have to be very careful using this one. I say, I understand that you have a budget. I said, but when I say I want 10, you want 2. I said, you're really asking me to compromise my talent. And then you stop talking. And because what you do, that kind of that's a very difficult line to cross. But when you know you have nothing to lose, that's being completely transparent. I'm saying, listen, you're asking me to compromise my talent. You're not asking me to, okay, well, I'm going to give you, 50 widgets instead of 100 widgets. I mean, this is you're really compromising my talent, and people are human like that. They're human like that, especially when you speak to medium-sized businesses. I mean, obviously, when you get to larger companies, it's different. But I mean, Ebong, is that something that you've experienced?
Can I throw something in the loop there?
Sure, go ahead.
I agree.
I mean, I've been asked this too, and I'm sure anybody else is speaking. I've had companies turn to me and say, "Listen, this is my fee," and then they turn around and say, "Well, we can only do 2." Well, the problem is that I have expenses.
Yeah.
If I'm going to fly to California and stay 2 nights, well, there's the 2,000.
Yeah.
Well, what am I doing now? Am I doing the speech for free and they're paying my expenses?
Well, if you're my friend Ted Rubin, you're probably staying at the Ritz, so it's a lot more than 1,000 night.
Well, but I'm just saying it as a general statement.
No, I mean,
so you got to explain to them. I mean, I personally, I mean, I can only speak for myself. When I give out my things, I up it because I'm either saying, listen, it's a flat fee for this, and you got to pay my expenses out there, or we can come up with another way. I'll include my expenses, but that means it's going to go up.
Yeah.
So here's the situation for everyone in the room. By the way, I'm literally thinking this right now. Ebong and I are on the same wavelength. We think of things last minute. So here's a great example. And Ebong, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. Well, Robert C. Stern Company is looking for an experienced speaker who has a lot of energy, who's very articulate, who does an amazing job, and he really knows how to move and connect with customers. Anthony, we've already spoken to Ebong, and he's going to do it for 8, and you're 10. What's the difference between you guys? That's a tough one, because so I'm using us obviously as an example, but if we go to company A and they say, hey, listen, Ebong, we know you great. Wow, you got a wonderful website, love all your video, you've done some wonderful work, you got us sold, but this guy Anthony's going to do it for $2,000 less. What's the difference between you guys? And I'd love to hear your response, because I have one, but I'd love to hear yours.
I just say if price means that much to you and you want somebody for less, then you may have to go with that.
Right.
Because you saw what I provide, you see what I do, you see my experience and my pedigree, and when I come, I'm going to blaze your stage. Right. In addition to that, if I'm talking to a sales team, they're going to be empowered enough to go out and make sales. If what you're paying me, if I can give you 10x of that or 20x of that in response to to what your sales team will be, how they're going to react and be motivated, then I think it's just a drop in the bucket. But if it's a problem, then maybe the other person that you're talking about you may have to go with them.
They might be a better fit. I like that because what you're doing is you're not dissing the other guy. You're basically what's the term we were taught, Ebong, growing up as kids? Always be on the offensive. Don't ever be on the defensive. You never want to smack people in the face and say you're an idiot. You know what you're talking about, even though they are idiots to know what they're talking about. Yeah. But you clearly want to be on the offensive. And the only reason why I bring this up is because Robert and I had this very specific conversation the other night about hiring, maybe someone to do a website or what's the difference between one strategy guy and another strategy guy. And sometimes the pricing might be a little better and you might get more value, but you might not have seen the value at some point. So it's a funny thing. It's a real funny thing. See, for speakers, it's all about, it's like you are the product, right? Yeah. And your ability to empower people to take action and to leave like a burning impression in their minds. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. We talk about this all the time as speakers. It's about your ability to tell an amazing, oh my God story. That's what it is. Yeah. Because we can all take
you're leaving the most important thing out of it.
What's that?
When you spoke to the company in the first point, did you find out why what the speech was going to be about and what their points are that they want to get across. So when that person comes back to me about price, my conversation back to them is going to include every single point
talked about,
that they talked about, that they want to express, and how I bring it out to them.
Right.
Because we talked about it the other day about the pain points.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're bringing out the points that they're looking for,
right,
price doesn't matter anymore. They'll find that $2,000.
They'll find
You're going to turn around and just say, listen, if price matters and stuff like that, that, and you do say those things.
Yeah.
But you got to bring out that other information out first, because you know something? When they come to me to do a keynote or to do a panel or anything else, I want to know about this organization. I want to know what the people are looking for. I want to know all that information, because I don't want to show up at an event that I'm going to give a speech about Facebook, and then they wanted me to do a thing about Facebook, and then I find out afterwards that half these people could care less about Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I look like, well, what'd they bring this guy in for? I don't want to know about Facebook. I want to know about Instagram. I want to know about live streaming. I want to know about this. I don't care about Facebook.
Mike B.
You need to know what you're walking into.
Hey, Robert, you see, Mike B says exactly. He says, what's their need, not so much your story. Well, I have a comeback for that. Addressing their pain points and their needs will get you the job. Telling your story gets you your fee.
Yeah.
Yes, but also, if they're talking to you to try to get your number down, you have to reiterate their points that they told you.
Yep.
And that's why
I completely agree
you're
with that.
worth that price, because you do. So I'm going to tell my story about the price, about the needs that they told me they need.
Yeah.
I lost on
If
price
it
earlier.
still comes down to money, then go to somebody else.
Yeah, I lost on price very early, and I guess I was younger and naive. But nowadays, it's either this is what my fee is, or listen. I wish you the best of luck. I think of it in a very, and I'm an emotional, transparent guy, but it becomes very binary for me when it gets to that level.
Well, I like getting the phone calls, and you might have gotten them. I mean, hey, we checked out your website. We're interested in hiring you. So what do you charge? And they get right into it. And I'm sitting there going, well, let me ask you a few questions first, because you got to remember something. You need to interview them just like they're interviewing you.
Yep.
So where's the conference? First of all, let me check my schedule and see if I'm open.
Right.
You might have something scheduled already. I mean, if you got something scheduled, what's the use of talking price? It doesn't matter anymore. They're not going to double your price to just steal you. Trust me, they're not going to. So, where is it? Where is it located? How many people are going to be there?
Yeah, I get that same thing. Like what
you have to ask these questions before you give your price, because
I understand.
I'm not going to charge the same to go to, Washington D.C. for a day.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go to California.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm speaking next year in Ireland. I'm speaking in Australia. Do you think that's the same price I'm charging when I go into New York City?
No.
Hell no.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually it's funny. I'm getting my day rate plus a little bit because of travel and stuff.
Sure.
But guess what? They're paying my expenses.
Of
because
course.
the expenses cover up all even more.
You're valuable enough to do that. They value.
I'm going to Ireland. I'm going to Australia, and that's what it costs.
Well, that's like when I did that Arizona trip, and I'm still humbled. That was like that was my first big wow. I'm gonna really.
Okay, but now what you need to do is you need to get back in your head. Why did those people call you from Arizona? They were willing to pay that number.
You know what? It's when you get that customer where you can do no wrong. It's like I could do no wrong. It's like
Did you ever call them back?
Oh yeah.
Try to get back on them again.
Yeah, they want me to go to Vegas, and they haven't been able to nail down the event. I'm like, I'll go to Vegas. I'll go to Vegas.
Yeah, just make sure that when they pay you, it goes in your account ahead of time.
Yeah,
so
don't pay me in crap table chips or something that can't be converted back to money. So I won't do that. Hey, Jonathan had a good question.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
I want you to answer that one, buddy.
Well, before he answers the question, the three of us and Vicky have been doing a lot of talking. And there's this amazing, amazing person that's also sitting here and hasn't said a word.
I know.
I mean, she set it up. She brought in Abong. Vicky came in. I came in. You came in.
I'm sorry.
And she's just kind of.
She's
What is
taking it
your
all
take?
in. She's taking it all in.
What's your take on all this? I mean, this is your blab. What's your opinion?
This is great information. Like Anthony said, I'm taking it all in because
Like a
when
sponge.
when Ebong first came on,
That's
because
good.
I'm so new, I'm still dealing with pricing and trying to figure out what's best, for my clients. And so all this information is good information. Like I've been over here literally taking notes on the side while you guys have been giving feedback.
All right,
So-
Abong,
And
I'm
it's
going
also
to
on the
turn
record.
it on her,
It's on
okay?
the record. It's on the record too.
You
It's on the
ready?
record.
Let's turn it on her.
That's right.
I gotta watch this one. Okay.
Wait, we're going to turn it on
Sit
her
back.
now.
Here we go.
Why are you having problems with pricing? Well, what is your drawback?
Just figuring out what my value and what I should be, charging for the services, with me seeing so many other people that do some of the same things I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, so what should I price my services at? And I kind of get what most people get. Well, are people going to pay that if I, tell them this is what I'm charging? So that's my drawback. And
Well, how much belief do you have in you?
Yeah.
A lot.
Here goes Robert with the questions.
that's why I think, when you're new, it's like, okay, well, people probably really don't know me like that. So are they wanting to pay me? What I know I'm worth, but.
Can I ask you a question?
So,
Can I ask you a question?
can.
What's the worst thing they could say to you? What's the one word they could say to you?
no.
Okay. Next.
Have you ever said no to anybody?
Oh, of course. Yes.
Okay.
You see how confident you said that no? They'll say just as no. You'd be like, okay, good.
Okay.
Next.
So
Yeah.
do you feel, 'cause I mean, obviously you're in an industry I kind of know about a little bit.
A little.
So do you feel that if a company came to you and said, I need somebody to run my social media sites, could you do it?
Yes.
Okay. You'd be able to do the research?
Yes.
You'd be able to work with the company?
Yes.
You'd be able to guide them in the way that they feel their message should get out?
Yes.
Do you feel that you have the business sense to budget what they may need to do?
Yes.
You'd be able to set up the ads?
Yes.
So why the hell can't you come up with the price of what you're worth?
Oh,
'Cause
damn.
you said
That
confidently
was good.
every question to me that you knew you could do it.
Robert's dropping.
So why aren't you able to say, you know something? I can do it as good as they can. They charge that? Hell, I could charge the same. Or you know something? I'll charge $50 less
That's
to
true.
get myself moving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So why can't you?
I can.
Then do it. Write it down. Write
Wrong
it down.
answer.
You-
Why
you-
can't you?
Yeah. Do you have a sticky note? You have a sticky note in front of you? Show me a sticky note and a pen, please, if you don't mind.
Not a sticky, but
Okay. I want you to get a pen.
old school notebook.
Get a pen, please.
It's the oldest app in
Okay.
the world, pen and paper.
Now, don't tell me what the number is. Write down, I charge X dollar fee for my next engagement. Write that down. Whatever the X, don't tell me what the number is because that's your business. So I charge, like Ebong and I'll say, I charge $10,000 for my speaking gig. And then I want you right next to it, so be it, it is done. And then let me know when you're finished.
Okay, I'm done.
You just did something that 95% of the people walking upright on this planet don't do. It's called writing down stuff. When you write down things, it creates neural pathways in your brain. They say, and Zig Ziglar said this, when you write something down, there's a higher likelihood of you executing on that than just texting it, iPadding it, or thinking of it. So you just did something 95% of the people don't do. Don't do. Do it.
Now I want to add one more question.
Go.
You ready?
Yes.
Why are you different than anybody else?
Because I'm me.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, but
There
do
it
you
is.
see the force that you answered every single one of my questions?
Yep.
So why can't you come up with a price?
I can just second guessing myself, I guess.
But you didn't
Can't-
second guess
yeah.
one answer that I
didn't.
asked you.
So you can go through the whole procedure and then they turn around and say how much you charge and you don't know what to do. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
You know you could do the job. You know you have the information. You know you have the knowledge. And you know what the best part is? If you don't have the answer, you know who to go to get the answers.
Very true.
So why aren't you worth what you think you're worth? Not the $7.50 hour. Do you want fries with that bullshit?
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like, you know something? I can do this.
Yep.
Because you know why? You just did it. You just did it.
Yeah.
And Vicky and Vicky was here earlier, and the three of us were all talking, and you were quiet in that point too. And we were all talking around. It all boils down to what you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That's true.
Remember she was saying that one girl was like saying, "Oh, I was going to charge the what was it, the
minimum wage.
You know, the minimum wage, but her housekeeper's getting $30 an hour."
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's what you're worth, if that's what you think you're worth, that's what you're going to get.
It's true.
So tomorrow, when you start getting out there marketing, literally what you have to do is you have to believe in yourself.
Ebong, look at all the topics we have for Scopes for the next couple of days.
And I'm going to be bouncing on every one of them and say, "You owe me."
But that's the beauty of surrounding yourself with people who just inspire you to take action. I mean, that's really what it is.
I agree.
Yeah, if we can walk around every day and surround ourselves with people like that, it's just it works. I said something in a Scope today, in a blab. Oh no, it was yesterday. Somebody asked me, Anthony, how do you keep when you go up on stage? Listen, Ebong, I'm sure we both go through the same thing. We all get a little nervous when we go on stage. I don't care how experienced you are.
Yeah, I do.
We all get like,
I do.
either hyperventilating, you feel like you're going to pee in your pants, or like, oh my God, I need a drink or something, Red Bull, whatever you need, a shot of espresso. You get a little nervous because you just feel that way. So I said today, the one thing I do to get myself to level set my head is I do two things. One is when I was in Little League, I used to have these big Coke bottle glasses, and I couldn't really see the ball when I was up at bat. And I was always nervous, thinking, okay, I'm going to get hit in the head. I'm going to strike out. I'm going to crap my pants. I was like so insecure. But I always remember looking to the left and seeing my mom sitting in that bench, saying, "You can do it, Anthony. Come on, you can do it. You can do it, Anthony. You can do it." And I just go, and I breathe, and I'm okay. Now that took me through high school. Now when I get up on stage, sometimes I think about my mom. I use the Napoleon Hill Table of Advisors perspective. In the Law of Success book, Not Think and Go Rich. This is Law of Success. It's called. Ebong knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Table of Advisors. You have this imaginary table of advisors. If you could sit down and have dinner, or just have a meeting with the most awesome people on the planet, just imagine that they're there in the audience. Like the first thing I do is, okay, Tony Robbins is sitting right there. John Maxwell is sitting right there. Napoleon Hill is sitting right there. T.D. Jakes is sitting right there. Steve Jobs is sitting right there.
Hello?
Bill is right there.
Where the hell am I?
Robert, you're in the back
That's
going.
right, we already had a drink.
You're only getting a drink. You're serving the drinks, the bartender.
Robert's in my ear saying, "Don't F it up." All right, I've commandeered the blab. I'm going to bed. It's 11.
No, you're fine. I gotta get out. I gotta get out of here too.
I gotta go to bed, guys. I'm gonna go.
Yes.
Midnight.
We need to talk, sir.
No, but somebody wants to get in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop out.
Douglas Carr.
Robert, good seeing you, buddy. Ebong, you're the best, my man.
You too.
Good seeing your friend.
When you're in DC, let me know, man.
We'll have
Both
dinner,
you guys,
absolutely.
anybody.
Yeah, I was going to
We'll
say, you and I
definitely
need to catch up. We haven't spoken in a
I'll
while.
do that too. Yes.
Thank you.
Right. I got to jump out of here too. Foso Social and
Okay.
Dr. Stern. All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. I'm getting
Get
ready
outta
to get
here.
off soon too, but thank you, Ebong.
So everybody's leaving.
Car.
Everybody's leaving when I come in. What the
I'm staying.
Come on.
After I leave, you guys can just continue the blab if you want.
No, this is your blab.
Fo, one of the things that I just wanted to add was maybe an alternative to writing down what you believe your value is when I first started my business, I worked for people my whole life. I worked for people until I was 40 years old. I wasn't an entrepreneur. I was an employee, and so my value of myself was always put into that hourly context. How much am I getting paid? How many? And then when I started my own business, I had that same mindset. I started to say, well, how much do I have to get paid in order to cover my bills, in order to make my sales, in order to do this? Yep. And what I did was I determined my value without my customer. And it was a huge, huge mistake on my part. And that was that I thought about how much I wanted to get paid and how much I thought I was worth, but I didn't realize how much the problem was costing my customer. And so I had a sales coach that really helped me along the way. But the first thing he started to talk to was about getting to that point, with your client and understanding what is it costing their business? Why do they need you? How much is it costing their business? And when you start to get into these numbers, for some of these companies, it might be worth hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to those companies if you're able to turn that ship just a little bit. And I just never realized that. And so my first customer my sales coach was sitting there and he said, call the prospect right now. And he made me call while he was sitting there, and I was scared and everything else. And he said, you've helped them for so long, what their problems are. Ask them how much this is costing their company. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, how much do you think this is costing you guys? And he said, gosh, I couldn't even imagine. It's probably costing us millions of dollars. And I said, okay. I said, well, what is your budget, to get this fixed? What is a budget that we can wrap around, my services to get in there and really help you fix it? And this guy threw out a budget that was 7 times larger than what I had written down. Wow. 7 times larger. And now I understood that it wasn't about my value. It was about his perception of how much that problem was costing him. And I think a lot of people make that mistake. You're going to have the shoppers that say, well, I'm going to check out Faux, and I'm going to check out this person, I'm going to check out that person, and I'm going to compare, and I'm going to get the cheapest person. Mm-hmm. But then you're also going to get the good people that love to work with you, that say, no, I know this is costing my money, costing my business hundreds of thousands of dollars. I need someone good to help me fix this. And they recognize you for who you are and getting them there. And I just wanted to throw that out there and leave, but it transformed my business. I have a good agency now. Everything's going well for us. And it literally flipped my business on its ear. And that's because I was no longer determining my value. I was letting my clients understand how much that problem was costing them as a business, and then how much they were willing to pay to get it. And when you say that, right, if right now, if you're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales, how much was Robert's advice to you worth? Right. How much was that worth? And if Robert had a $5,000 consulting session that could make up for that hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue, isn't that worth it? Yep. And that's when people start to think of it from that return on investment standpoint. I think that's when it's a really easy sale. That's when things flow a lot easier. So with that, hey, you guys, just fantastic tonight. And Faux, I love moderators that sit and prod and keep the game moving like you're doing. So don't listen to these guys. You're doing an incredible job. So
thank you for that advice, Douglas. I really like that. And I actually wrote some of it down. I appreciate you coming in and giving
All right.
advice. Thank you.
Good night, Robert. Good to see you, sir.
You too, Doug. Danielle, this is twice tonight I've seen you.
Yes, it's cool. I this is a problem I want to have more often. I want to see lots more. Okay.
Yeah, hello, because of all that radio talk you do.
I was listening, and I just wanted to say it one more time. Say your price with confidence. It makes a big deal if you are confident. Just like you can confidently say, "I can do this. I can do this." You confidently say your price. And you will get the price that you confidently say. But you have to say it with the same confidence. And people can pick up if you're hesitating or you're not sure or you're questioning it. Nope. Say, this is my price. These
Yeah.
are my fees. And you're going to reach people who want to learn from you, because you have a tribe that's just for you. There's
Right.
going to be a customer out there who wants to learn from you. They don't want to learn from Robert. They don't want to learn from anyone but you, because
Mhm.
they pick up on your personality and they feel like, this person I can relate to, and I'm comfortable with this person, and I feel like this person can grow me or fix my problem. So know that there is someone specific out there for you, and they're going to pay you what you're worth. It took me a long time to get there. But I have learned, and it's working. So do it.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so
You
much.
got it. You got it. Mm-hmm.
I'm on my way.
But yeah, you're
No.
there. Just
No.
apply it with the same confidence.
Don't
Have
give
the
me
same
the I'm
confidence.
on your way stuff.
I'm there, Robert.
But do you see?
She's gonna do
Did
it.
you see it?
Yeah, I know. But she's
Instead
gonna
of
do
I'm
it.
on my way, I'm there.
Yeah, you there.
That
I'm there.
emphasis of that you are there
Mm-hmm.
just got you the job instead of saying I'm on my way.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
the difference. That could be the difference of an extra $3,000 a month for a
Yes.
program
Yeah.
in your pocket
And just
versus
execute.
now
Yeah,
you're struggling
execute.
again.
You can learn. There are people like Robert out here who will help you along the
Right.
way if it's something you don't understand.
Right.
But execute. And I think Vicky made a good point about that earlier when she was talking about her journey and
Mhm.
how she started off very young and she didn't really know, but she learned and she made mistakes, and
Mhm.
it's gonna come. But
Yeah.
you're doing it. So many people miss the step trying to want to make it perfect. I want to make
Right.
sure that I understand this skill and I'm
Yeah.
giving them the best. Work on it as you go.
Right.
Work on it as you go and
And
learn
keep,
as you go
keep
and
doing the
make money.
blabs and the scopes and all that stuff, and you show people your knowledge.
Yes.
I mean, Brian and I, we followed each other for years. Brian and I needed live streaming to come around. That's what put the two of us on the spotlight. We knew each other, but we couldn't. It was hard to beat out Kim Garst,
Right.
Mary Smith. These big guns that are out there with thousands. I mean, Kim Garst has got 300,000 people following her on Twitter.
Yep.
All these great things. But because Brian and I embraced live streaming and really, and the biggest thing that helped us is being consistent. And that goes into pricing too. Be consistent.
Right.
This is what I charge. I'm going to treat all my customers the same. Hey, whether it's GE or Danielle just on her radio show, let's say,
Right.
is it an internet radio? Or is it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's an internet radio. Well, if it's her or GE, and you both come to me for the same thing, guess what? I'm going to charge you both the same. Because I'm not going to overprice GE because I'm not going to get killed on that side, but I'm also not going to underprice myself because Danielle is smaller. I'm going to find that mutual situation, and I'm going to go there.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool, Eamon.
I like
No,
that.
it's just it goes back to believe in yourself. And you see, you came back at me when I started up with all those questions. And I started going 1, 2, 3. And that's what I do for a living. I just question everybody that I coach. And every time I said that question, you weren't just I'm trying, you were giving me your answer.
Yep.
And everybody saw it in this room.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it got to the price, you kind of I'm second guessing myself. But why? You had all your answers. There's no reason to second guess yourself anymore. You know what you're doing. And I said, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to go find out what to do.
I sure will.
So
Yep.
Ebong had to leave already. He was here for a while. Somebody
Yeah.
saying where is he? Because it's in the title. That's why.
Oh yeah.
And Robert
Don't you recognize?
Robert brought up a
Ebong?
point.
No.
Robert brought up a point about you being quiet, and that's my personality. When people are talking, I kind of want to wait for my time and get in where I fit in.
Right.
And it's a little different because, like on the radio show, we have 4 personalities, and if I don't speak up when I have something to say, then I'm
not
not
gonna
going
be
to have an
heard.
opportunity.
Right.
So it's like I got to get out of myself sometimes and say, hey, I have something to say.
Right.
And what you have to say is valuable too. Someone wants to hear you just
Right.
like the other three individuals who were in the space.
And
So just
I understand with Abong and me and Vicky,
Mhm.
verbal,
Yeah.
just a little bit.
The heavy
yeah,
hitter.
you just gotta squeeze in, and it's a skill that I'm learning from being on the radio. How to squeeze in and say what I want to say, and then
Right.
step back and let others, and then squeeze back in there and give my point again, and
Right.
step on back out. But I think that skill will be helpful when you're hosting shows, just so you're not just there. Because for a long time I was
Right.
like, is she gonna say something? Is she gonna speak up?
Well, the funny thing is, I was at the beginning, before Robert and Vicky came, I was asking Ebong all these questions.
Yeah.
And then, when the
Yeah.
heavy hitters came in the
And
room,
it's tough,
dropping
I
all
know.
this knowledge, I'm just like, go.
Yeah, I get it.
She's like, I'm just sitting back with my pen and paper. Here we go.
Writing it down, but that's smart. When Vicky gave her little pitch, I was writing it down too, girl.
Right.
And I was writing a paper over here for school. And I said, let me stop.
Right.
She said something I need right there. So I get it.
Well, it's funny because Bethany just wrote in the thing. She was asking me a question. I saw in the chat. Have I ever given a free speech? Oh my God. I've given so many free speeches. I've done speeches at schools. I've done speeches when I first started and when I wanted to do speaking. I mean, it's not like, oh my God, I have business. Hey, I'm going to walk into, ABC conference that's got 7,000 people there and they're going to pay me 10 grand. Oh, but I've never spoken before on a size thing like that before. Oh no, it doesn't work that way. I started out at the local real estate office with 15 people there and I did it free. And I went to the chamber and I did it free. And then, but the smart thing I did was I filmed myself. I videotaped every single time I did a public speaking panel, speech, training class. Every single time I get it videotaped. Because now what you can do is you take clips.
Create your speaker reel.
Now all of a sudden you got something to base it on. And you can start to move up and get more of a regional situation and things like that. And then as you get out there, it's better. Now Blab has changed that, where people can get on here. I've actually had people contact me from Blab. They've never seen me before, but they've contacted me here and I'm speaking at their events. I mean, I'm going to Ireland because of Blab, not because they knew me before.
Wow.
But then they've done their research on me because they follow you and they start to do their research and everything else, and that's the way you go. I mean, Periscope Summit. I spoke in New York City on it. The Ryan and Kathy and those guys, they didn't know me prior to Periscope.
Yeah.
But they did their research afterwards. They saw the things that I'm doing, and that's what they did.
The power of live streaming.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Listen,
I actually got a job from being on Blab. Somebody contacted me to do social media for them from being on Blab.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. How'd you come up with the pricing for that one?
I had it down already.
Did they try to negotiate with you?
No.
You might have underpriced yourself.
Yeah. You want them to kind of hesitate and be like, okay, but then they're in their brain figuring out, how am I going to make this thing happen? Because I really need this right here. So I'm going to stop going to Starbucks and I'm going to set aside some money. I'm not going to get them shoes because this is more important. So that's the kind of thought process you want to have. And you'll get there. It just takes some practice.
I'm willing to practice.
So
like
where
I
are you
said,
out of?
I'm there.
Where are you out of?
Dallas.
Me?
You're in Dallas? Because I'll be there, I think it's May 16th.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's my mom's birthday. Good day.
I think that if that's a Monday, that's when I'm going to be there.
Where are you speaking at?
My event.
Okay.
I have now slowly switched. I'm still doing events for other people, but now I've incorporated into my own events where May 16th is a Monday. Thank you, Adrena. It's the 16th in Dallas and then the 17th in Fort Worth. I am doing it's starting in January. It's a 24 plus city tour.
Oh yeah, your
January
tour.
and June. where I'm going across and doing a social media for small business summit tour with other speakers.
Cool.
And we're charging like $99 a ticket. It's 5.5 hours. It includes lunch.
That's awesome.
Dallas is in it. Orlando's in it. I mean, it's all up on the site already. So
Okay.
if anybody's interested in checking it out and wants to go, but it just, I just created my own at that point because I just, a lot of these big stuff that's out there, Kim's Social Boom and social media madness out, the craziness that's out in San Diego and all these things, everything else. They are great events, but it's like $500 to go. It's your airfare. It's a hotel. Well, the average small business guy is not going to go to it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
They want to get into social media, but they don't want to invest that much yet, and then take off time and everything else. So I decided we're going to go across the nation and bring it into the secondary towns. We're not going to Chicago or LA or New York, but we're going to all the other ones, and we're going to do it as like a $99 thing.
That's a great idea.
And it's a half day, so it's like 8:30 to 2 or 8:30 2:30 type of thing, where they can come, they're going to learn, they can leave, and they can put it to work.
I like that.
And
Are you going?
I'm gonna go. Can you put the link in the?
Okay. Because if you're going, I'm gonna meet y'all there.
Danielle, where are you out of?
I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia, but I can fly there. That's not a problem.
That's just the Dallas one. I got Raleigh in North Carolina.
He's going all over.
Okay.
That's
cool.
North Carolina's a lot closer to you.
Yeah, I'll check one of them out then.
Yeah, all the dates, everything are up there. Hold on. Let me. US. I want to make sure I work off my tablet, so I always got to double check my spelling. Yeah, that's it. Socialleader.us. And then the front banner, it talks about the events for 15 and 16, and you can see all the dates and the towns.
Okay.
And, we don't have Philly on there yet. We're looking into it.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
The generation, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, and the biggest thing that we're doing with this event is we're not upselling anything. We're not selling any books. We're not selling any webinars. We're not selling anything else. It is true old style. Come to learn.
I love it.
Ask questions. Learn for yourself and your business. Take our contact information if you need it for future, and then leave.
Awesome.
They want to work with us later. Any of the speakers, anything like that, they can contact them privately.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely participating. I have family in Dallas, so I can come there, or I can go to Raleigh. Either one. So it would be cool to see some of you in person.
Right,
Because
exactly.
I like to see bodies. I've done that with people on Blab. I'm like, I want to see you in person too.
Oh, that's why I'm flying out to LA this weekend. I'm going to see Vicky for the first time.
Yes.
And we got a podcast together now.
I know it.
That's cool.
So we've never met each other. So I'm actually going to see her Sunday night and Monday night. Sunday night for dinner, and Monday night we're going to do the podcast live together in the same room. It's going to be weird. And then I'm meeting. I don't know if you guys know Tim Gillette.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to be out in LA at the same time, so I'm going to be meeting them. Sue Burke, a couple other people, Melody Meyer, I think it is, or somebody like it's just so many people we're going to get to meet. And then I'm also, because I'm going to be there, and one of the days I'm going to be there, I'm not going to be involved in the group that I'm coming out for. So I'm trying to meet up with some Periscopers. Cool. I've already put the feels out. We're going to try to meet up for lunch and do some stuff, maybe do some Periscopes together. So I'm totally looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be following you to check those out.
Right? Just like I was during Periscope Summit. Everybody was scoping. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it was too many to keep up with.
I saw you there, Fo.
Yep.
Know each other at Periscope Summit. It was a blast. It was amazing.
It was fun, and Ryan was saying he was thinking about bringing one to Texas, possibly, because a lot of his team works in Austin. So, fingers crossed, maybe they'll have one in Texas.
Well, they have January. They have the one in San Francisco, and then I
Right.
know in May they're doing the Australian one.
Right.
Now I'm hearing rumors of something in Europe.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I love the whole idea, but I'm just wondering if Periscope Summit is going to continue, or there's somebody's going to come out with a live streaming summit.
Okay.
That can be incorporating Blab. It can be incorporating
Yeah.
Periscope, Meerkat,
Yeah.
all live streaming, and all do it in one place.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be a blast.
Because a lot of us do crossover. I mean, we're
That's
all
true.
on
Yeah.
Periscope, and we're all on Blab.
Mhm.
That's true.
That's true.
So, all right, it's getting late here. It's
I know.
12:15.
Right. Thank you guys so much for joining. This is so much fun. I know how to find both of you two. So
Yeah, Fo, if you ever need anything, you let me know.
okay, I will.
Yeah, and I got your back.
Yes, I know.
What time is your radio show on, Danielle?
It's on Sunday evenings at 8:30 Eastern Standard
about?
Time. It's about all things life. We have real topics, real people, and real discussions. So,
about business, or is it about?
various different things. So sometimes we have topics about business. Sometimes it's social issues, relationship issues. We talk about a lot of different things. My personality is a little different on the radio, though. So if you do listen to me on the radio,
Oh, we want the link now.
don't
Yeah, right.
don't charge it.
Come on, put the link in.
It's Let's Face It Radio. I'm gonna try to type it in while I'm
Because
talking.
Tim actually
But,
interviewed me on his show, so I was wondering.
Yeah, so we have a large following in the Hampton Roads area. I think
cool.
over 100,000 listeners,
Wow.
Nice.
which is pretty cool because the Will Strayhorn is the host, and he's a local personality, has award-winning makeup artist, and a lot of other fancy things. And Let's Face It Radio.com. I'm typing it while I'm talking. So it's a great opportunity for me. I've grown so much and had speaking opportunities. That's another thing I thought out
Did
the
you
box.
just spell
I
it
said,
wrong? Because it says Jets face.
Oh yeah, I just did. Let me do this again. I'm on my phone. It sucks.
I
can't
I
see.
hate getting on Blab.
I
from my
know.
phone.
It's like I need to do this
So annoying.
on the computer. I'm gonna try one more time.
Regeneration, what do you mean you're working on a book event? Explain that to me, John.
And I
The
do
reason I
my
ask is because my book that I'm working on will be out
Oh.
by the end of December.
Danielle Raven put it in there for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it because I was like struggling over here. I need
And
to get
Robert,
some
you
glasses.
haven't been on my. I do a weekly app review on Wednesday, so if you're on Wednesday nights, look forward to that. Danielle, you came on one of my app reviews before.
Mhm.
So I do that
Blab
on
or on Periscope?
Blab.
Okay.
Yep.
I think John just said hold tight, he's coming in a second because I asked him about this. He was asking Danielle
Book.
about working on a book event in Virginia Beach,
Oh,
Mhm.
and I'm actually about a third done with the book. I'm in like total gear right now to get this book done. My book's
Hey,
all
hey,
going to be
hey.
about live streaming, everything to do about live streaming. The book should be out by the end of December.
That's what's up, man.
Mhm.
So what's going on with the book? What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Ladies, how are you? How are you?
Hello.
So on April 17th at 8:24 a.m., I launched Me in 4 Seasons, a journal for your journey of change. And it is a 52-week journal that consists of motivational posts, and you go through one a week. You make your action plan after you determine what the words mean to you, and then you gift the words to someone else and impact someone else's life. And the book is meant to give you an opportunity to journal and see your change through 52 weeks, a whole year. So at the end of the year, you would have impacted someone else's life at least 52 times, and you would have had 52 opportunities to impact your own life. And so someone has requested that owns a restaurant down in Virginia Beach that I do a book event on a Sunday in November. So I'm trying to hustle and get there. So that's what I'm saying. I hope to connect with you when
Yeah,
I get there,
definitely.
Danielle.
Okay, reach out to me. That'd be great, and we'd love to spotlight it on the radio show.
That's what's up.
And I would send it out on my tribe here in the area and tell local people all about it.
That's all right. That's awesome.
Cool.
So Robert, when will you be done with yours?
My book, I'm like in hot gear mode. I'm supposed to have it done that it's ready to be launched by the end of December. Amazon,
awesome.
Kindle, and book ready.
Oh, that's
Right
awesome.
now.
So, and it's everything and anything to do with live streaming in general. There's Periscope, Meerkat, Blab. I'm even going to go over Nomad and Facebook mentions, everything on a business sense, how to use live streaming. We'll talk about trolls. We'll talk about the functions of all the situations, and then we'll talk about the different sales ways of doing things. A little bit of everything across the board. Be trying to be thorough about everything. And we're trying to get it done but we want to get it to the editor's hand, hopefully by Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So that we can get it out.
That's in 18 days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
We got about a third done already.
Yeah, you got it.
We got about a third done, and I just started about 5 days ago.
Yeah.
So I have a friend that I met through live streaming, good friend of mine down in Florida, and I'm not a writer. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate writing blogs because I'll write the blog and then I'll send it off to 5 people because I'll use the wrong there and I'll do all the wrong things you got to do, and I have all these other people editing it and everything else. So I'm using basically a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
But you know, we're interviewing, we're filming the interviews and everything, so they get my story. But the thing is, I met her on Periscope. She knows me. She knows my style, the way my voice is, everything about me. She's having a blast with this because we just finished the Periscope chapter, which is probably going to be 2 chapters now because we had so much information in there.
Right.
And
that's awesome.
She learned like 8 new things. She was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know we could do that." So I said, "Well, you better, be writing something good on the back side of this book because,
right,
because you're learning as you're going. You're getting firsthand experience." So
let me ask you this: in terms of optimizing your product, since you have so much content on Blab, are you packaging the Blab content with the book, or is that next generation, or what?
Oh no, it's literally everything. We're going to do. There's going to be the history of live streaming. We're going to talk about Periscope. Then we're going to talk about Blab. Then I'm going to talk about all the others. Then we're going to talk about trolls. Then we're going to talk about how to market it on it and then how to market it before it. And just how to use live streaming for your business. And I'm tagging certain people in the book that I know personally that have done very well with it. So that people know to kind of check and everything else. It's basically, we're trying to make it an A to Z type of situation, but with the history, but we're also going to have the functionalities in there because a lot of people don't know that you can do certain things on here. I learned something new today. I didn't even realize that when you schedule a Blab and somebody subscribes to it, the person who scheduled the Blab, you can actually go back into the subscribed video and subscribe thing. You can click their thing and you can make them a co-host so they can open up the Blab if you couldn't make it.
Wait, they can open up. No, I didn't know that.
I was talking about today too. It just came out.
Wow.
So in
That's
other
not
words,
what you were talking about at my Blab, was it?
Yes. So in other words, if John and I were going to do a Blab together and I set it up as a schedule and John subscribes to it. So I'm going to go back in and see John subscribed. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to click John, and he's co-hosting it with me. So I'm going to go in now. It's 2 days from now. I'm going to go in now, click his name, and I'm going to make him a co-graphic and can't get else to do it. He can start it up. Because, how many times we're there and you're running a few minutes late and the pulse bulb is going and people are waiting. Here you have your co-host can be ready to go.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to have a lot of this stuff. All the features are going to be in there.
Awesome.
And we're going to have a little disclaimer. Obviously things change. You know, we're gonna,
As
you know,
it
probably
goes.
right before it's about to be printed for launch, we're just going to go in and make sure there's no new features. You know, I mean, especially with Blab, they're changing on a weekly basis right now.
Right.
You know, and the good thing about I'm doing it self-publishing is that I can actually go in while it's already done, and I can alter it a little bit right there. So if Blab comes in with some new features, bam, I can put those new features in. So that means he can have the book one week, Danielle can have it a different week. Danielle can actually have the up-to-date version more than John's. I feel bad. But at least I can go in and update it the way it
Yeah. Which it's gonna keep it as a living document and make it a necessary reference. That's what you want.
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm going to do it as a reference guide to know how to use it, but also as a marketing effort to know how to use it for marketing, scheduling, how to brand it, how to brand
that's
yourself
important.
on live streaming to get out there so people come and listen.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it should be done by the end of December.
Congratulations, brother.
So we're rushing like crazy. I think I did 2 hours today with her on the we did like an hour, and you know I'm a single dad, so I got my daughter. Anybody on Periscope follows me knows, you know, my range. You know, she's on. She knows Periscope better than half the people on Periscope. She turns around tonight. She goes, "When are we doing a Blab?" I said, "Well, when we get," she goes, "Well, I want to do a Blab on this." I was like, "Cool it, kid."
I get it. That's my 14-year-old. She always wants to pop in, and I'm like,
No, but
okay.
she really knows how to do it. I mean, she scared me on Periscope. I mean, I had her on the last Periscope I did with her. It was a few weeks ago. And I put her on Periscope, and literally people start, you know, hey, you hit broadcast, and people start coming in the room. And what's the first thing you're supposed to do? As they say, join. You know, hey, Fo, hey, John. She just starts doing it. He's a kid turning 9 years old in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And she'd be like,
awesome.
you know, she's got the phone in front of her.
You did it.
Danielle Books joined. Hey, Danielle, thanks for coming. Hey, Fo. Oh, God, they're coming in fast. John and Barb and Mike. Hey,
You're
how you
preparing
doing?
her. It must be in the genes. That's what it is. It's in the genes.
I mean, unbelievable. Adrena, I think you've seen her on Periscope before. She really knows her stuff.
Turn her loose, man.
She
better
did
get her a show.
Periscope about 3 months ago. She sat down at my desk, at the coffee table, actually, cleared it off, got dressed up, feathered her hair back, did all the stuff, everything else. She took a piece of paper, and she wrote down her 5 top tips to do a Periscope right.
That's
wow.
And she got on Scope, and she said, guys, this is what I think you need to do to have good Periscope. Her first one, I was hysterical, and Bonnie Frank was listening, and Kim Garst was on. And they were hysterical. They were like, here's an 8-year-old who's doing it. And she's talking about engagement and stuff like that. And she gets to the first one. She turned around and she goes, for those of you who haven't scoped, the camera is your friend. Don't be afraid of the camera. I mean, that's how she starts it off.
Wow. That's cute.
I mean, it was hysterical.
Duly noted.
And I'm laughing because everybody's like, did you write that? I'm like, no, she did. I go, this is what's scaring me. I go, people are calling me saying, I'd rather work with your daughter because it's going to be cheaper.
Maybe. Now you're her coach.
They're just going to take her to Toys R Us, buy her some toys, and they get this free social media, you know?
We need a whole section of Toys R Us. That's what we need.
Well, guys, I got to get
awesome.
going and go to bed.
Yeah.
All right.
It's late, but thank
Y'all
you guys
have a good
so
night.
much for coming on. I enjoyed everyone.
So
Thank
send
you
me a
so
message
much.
if you ever need anything.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Robert.
All right.
All right, y'all take care.
I will
bye,
talk to you
guys.
guys. Danielle, it's good.
Bye-bye.
John, it's good seeing you. Everybody else too.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
See you in the scope world.